Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
Boy!
Hey! What's going on?
Same old.
Dude, I see you online just beating people's asses now.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't say
that's
that.
just like I kicked
I've
this
been training a
motherfucker's
lot.
ass.
Dude,
Yeah.
I saw you flew to Texas to beat some ass, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's some serious ass whipping. You're like, I'm gonna leave this time zone to go beat your ass. Beating people's asses all over the country, dude. That's awesome.
betting them $40, you know.
Bet you $40 I can't choke you out and take your money either way.
We should
Let's
just
do it.
Welcome to Fuck This Place, a podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, another fantastic guest, a longtime friend of mine. He's a comic, he's a creator, he's a writer, an actor, producer, sound guy. He does it all, and he's always done it all. Just one of the hardest working guys around. And he's also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I don't want to say expert because I know you guys are very serious about where you guys at in your level.
Speaking of hard work, you know,
but he's a badass.
Work.
He's a badass dude. He's a friend of mine, Edwin Li. Ed, how are you doing, my guy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
Hey.
we're here. We're doing it. We're good. We're all good, aren't we?
Mhm.
You know, we're just all holed up, living our lives. We should do our first segment, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So Ed, the segment that we do on every podcast to get things going is we do a segment we call Fuck This Place ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. And so you're originally from San Francisco proper, is that correct?
Yeah. I'm from the city.
Duh City, hell yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that too because when I moved down here, let's say, hey, I'm from San Francisco too. I'm like, great. What high school did you go to? You know, maybe we know. They're like, oh, actually, I'm from Hayward. I'm like, you're not from.
Yeah, fuck
Whatever.
you.
Yeah. So, right. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah. So the two things I know about you is you're not from San Francisco and you're a fucking liar. Those are the two things immediately.
Yeah, no, there's for sure. I would imagine you have the greatest perception of this. Is like there's a difference, which especially like in your growing up years. You know, like what I mean is the years that like the literal chronological years, like, I don't know, call it 2000s of being in San Francisco versus being in like Hayward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's changed a lot now. I went back a couple of, was it like a month ago? And it's just different.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For the first time since 2002.
Does it suck now, Ed?
Well, I don't know if so much San Francisco sucked. Maybe I suck more.
That seems less likely, Ed, but I mean, but possible.
No, I get worried. Like I might become that grumpy old man and start saying things like back in my day, this city, blah, blah, blah. Well, things are, I just gotta get used to this new.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I think that's you can't ever go home, they say, right? I think every time I've ever gone back to San Francisco though, because that was when we were there, that was like my favorite place in the world to do stand-up. Like that was the best place in the world. And then every time I've gone back, like the shows I feel like hold, but just trying to get around in the city, it's like, I mean, it's hacky to say, but I mean, we have homeless people, but they got a fucking homeless problem there.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's like, it gets a little depressing. And the last time I did shows there, I was at the Alamo Draft House. Is that where I was? And then and in the Mission, and then someone broke into my car like inside of 20 minutes of me being there. It was just like, this is crazy how overrun the Mission is with nonsense, with riffraff.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Did any of you guys got your catalytic converters stolen?
Oh no, but that's an LA thing too. But
yeah, no. I have back in Stockton, like years ago. I got it stolen. Like you turn on your car and it kind of sounds like a weak ass version of a revved up car. It's just like, it sounds a little Tim Allen-y.
Just Wilson peeking from behind the fence, like, I still hear catalytic converter, you dumb bitch. Okay, well, so Ed, what we do on every podcast, we actually look up some Craigslist posts from the hometown where people are from, and so we've got 3 to choose from. So the way that this works is I'm going to read the title to 3, just like we're browsing Craigslist, and out of those 3, you're going to pick one that's an automatic. Fuck this place, I'm not even going to click on it. Right? The other 2 we're going to look at and decide whether we would work there or not. Make sense?
Got it.
Okay, great. So title number 1 is household helper. Title number 2, sell your life story as a book / get paid $7 per book. Okay. And then title number 3 is balloon room. So which of those 3 is an automatic? No way, I'm not even fucking touching it. The household helper, life story, or balloon room.
Oddly enough, I think the life story one. I'm not touching that one.
Yeah. You're like, you're gonna harvest my organs, aren't you? Sell your life story and a kidney. Okay, so yeah.
I want to be so what's that word where you help other people out for no reason?
Philanthropic.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, do you think that, I mean, again, we'll never know because we're not clicking on it, but it seems like sell your life story. That doesn't sound philanthropic at all. It sounds like you're trying to make money off of your life story, but sure. If you want to be generous with your time, I also view that as philanthropy to some degree. Like, I'm entertaining you with my attention. Doesn't that count? Well, whatever. Okay. So fuck that place. Let's take a look at, post number 1, which I say, let's go straight into balloon room. I have some questions. So balloon room begins with a picture. And you know what? Now that we're here, it makes sense that this is the picture. It's, well, believe it or not, it's a room full of balloons. Just imagine like what you would want if you were doing a cool, awesome balloon room prank, right?
Right.
You want to fill up someone's, like dorm room or whatever with balloons. And it's like, hell yeah, that's a bunch of balloons,
And there's so many, it feels like doesn't it feel like they're like looking back at you?
I will say you're right. There's sort of an arena, stadium seating kind of look to the balloons. Like they kind of steadily rise as you go back towards the wall. So you do sort of have the feeling that you're in the pit of like a Greek theater and you're performing a tragedy for a bunch of balloons. Also, I should note, grainy picture, looks like the top along here, the ceiling is like, there's just like standard, like office, maybe someone's office, but there's also 3 balloons, which I'm guessing, or maybe, 3, 4, 5 balloons that are touching the ceiling. And I'm wondering if it's just because of static, not because they're helium filled.
Yeah. I just was wondering that as well. Like, how do they get some to stay and some to not? I was going to go with magic, but I like what Chase has to say about it too.
Magic is a possibility. Helium, we're in a helium shortage, folks. So I don't know. Okay. So that is the picture. No other pictures. And then the text begins and it says, looking for fit male models to film a balloon room short. No previous experience necessary. Please be HWP and under 50. Don't know what that means. Send recent clear photos with response. No, we're not going to pay you to take selfies. We're getting very combative here. This is work for hire, so you'll have to sign a waiver and release. This is an open call. If the ad is up, we're still looking. A lot of sass. And in compensation, $300.
Yeah.
That's the
there's like definitely something weird going on with it, like I don't know exactly what, but that sass, and this is me mostly adding this in, but I feel like he's got that helium voice right now when he's talking, like he's got that real high voice.
Look at the fat man out to blow like that. Yeah.
The fact that he's talking to me like I'm supposed to know what HWP is. I don't know what that is at all. I don't know if that's like
a sex thing.
Sex thing, or just like, like high with peyote. I don't know what it could be, but yeah, all this just feels a little pushy.
Maybe it's hot white person.
Oh yeah. Oh, please be a hot white person.
Oh man. What was that, Ed?
What you said?
Very specific.
Yeah, very specific. And you would not want to spell that out if you did want them to be a hot white person.
Yeah.
Put white and bold. You're like, okay, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume that this is sort of sensual, even if it isn't sexual, right? That's fine. That's fine. But like, why aren't you gonna pay me to take selfies?
Yeah.
Says no, we're not gonna pay you to take selfies. Does that mean that they're gonna be mad if you pull out your phone and start taking a selfie while you're in it? Or does it make, or are they mad because they think that are they mad because they're afraid that you think that they don't have professional equipment? Like, are they like, listen,
I think
this isn't a selfie fest. Okay. I got a good HDR, whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like a little bit of their insecurities coming through.
Yeah. We're not, this isn't like a selfie room. I got a whole setup here, dude. Why are they so mad about the selfies?
I don't know. Maybe they've had some prior bad experiences with guys taking selfies of themselves.
Just some douchebag HWPs showing up.
They were 49 years old too. They were barely under 50.
Just barely.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, and it's like also it doesn't take that long to take selfies. Like I know that some people get really into it, but the truth is, like, however long you're there, even if you're there for an hour, like, you're setting up shots. Like if the guy pops out a camera and just does like a quick, like, what, shoot,
yeah.
What's the problem? What is the problem?
Yeah, I don't I can't tell if this is a sex thing.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, it's like, I think this is a fetish thing. I don't know if it's a sex thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, you could be you could be wearing jeans and sitting on a cake, and that's a fetish thing,
Right. Yeah.
We're jean cakes. That's what we like.
Like you might show up and this guy's like, he just like locks you in a room with these balloons, and there's like so many, and you're like moving. It's just making that squeaky noise that sometimes, just navigate through.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's super afraid that they're going to pop, and they're like just really excited that eventually, if you walk around long enough, they will pop. And I'll be honest, the sound of balloon popping, not a pleasant sound, but to some, that could be their gene cake. So yeah, no, I agree. There's something up here, but also I don't know, why do you need me for? Why can't you go into some balloons and jerk it? Why can't you just like the rest of us,
Just balloon jerk like a man,
Well, maybe the job is you have to blow up all those balloons yourself, and they have to watch you,
Oh
shit.
Yeah, and this picture's like the last champ or whatever, this current record.
And that's why you got to be under 50, because you won't have the lungs.
Because he's tired of calling the ambulance or whatever,
I keep getting these old codgers coming in here. Leaving on stretchers.
Yeah. Must be heavy-winded person. That's what it
HWP. Also, I love it. We really breezed through this because we've been just circling on a couple other details, but the no previous experience necessary. Like we just blazed past that because everything was so weird, but also like, what do you mean? Of course, no. Like what? Who looks at this and is like, I haven't done this before.
Yeah,
can't call.
Or someone's just like, you know what? But my cousin's real into this. I'll call him. He's a go.
He's good. He's good for it. I'm a highway possum. Possum start with an O. I'm a highway possum under 40. So, but I haven't blown up a room full of balloons. I've blown up plenty of balloons, but a whole room, I don't think so. So yeah. I'll pass.
Under 50 with hot, wet propaganda, please.
And the compensation again, $300.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, San Francisco wages, that's a little, but he also doesn't really say, does he say how long we're going to be here? And I missed it.
No,
he doesn't say how long you're doing this.
No, yeah, you're right.
But it's like, how long do you think it take you to blow up that many balloons?
That many balloons?
That many balloons.
What do you think that is?
What do you think it is? Like 300?
The longest thing I can think of when I look at this picture is blowing up balloons.
Yeah.
Like you say 150. Let's just call it 150 balloons.
Okay, 150.
Forever, dude. Blowing up one, and these balloons are fat balloons. Like, look at this one. It is filled to
Yeah, it's
the
starting to get
brim
a
with
neck on it.
HWP air. Yeah, it's got one of the necks. You even got a little taint, you know.
Yeah,
So
they got a little hang down on the bottom.
not a single one of these balloons look like they half-assed it. So if you're blowing them up, just bare lungs, you know, just straight trachea. I don't know. Like, I would say a couple hours. I would say 3 hours. At least.
What do you think the odds are that you pass out and then he ties you to all these balloons and then he has you like flying through the San Francisco sky? Like, and that's like his mark, like a Joker-esque villain.
Oh yeah, or like the and Up when the house got flown.
Oh my god, you think he puts you in like a hot air balloon type situation and he sends you out over to the Pacific?
$300. He puts $300 in your pocket and off you go over the Golden Gate Bridge. He
starts shooting the balloons one at a time with a rifle.
Oh man, that sounds like a pretty good afternoon. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because there's not enough information here, and it seems like they're intentionally hiding something, like the most dangerous. This person's version of most dangerous game, which is shooting you out of the air over the San Joaquin River.
Yeah, I'm out too.
Because you're gonna blow the wrong way, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. It's gonna be all cold up there.
All that air is not going out to the Pacific. It's going inland. You're gonna be in Fresno before you know it.
Yeah, dude. I'm out too, just because like there's not, like, I agree, there's not really enough information here, anything really to chew on. And it just makes me feel like the person behind this is weird. And I just don't want to hang out with that weird person. What about you, Ed? What do you say?
I'd say no, because what's hiding in those balloons? We haven't, you know,
we haven't even talked about what's behind these balloons. A desk,
a clown,
a clown, a Wolverine, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. And then the whole, like the lighting, you know, the desk lighting, the office lighting,
fluorescent,
fluorescent lighting. Like, what is that? Like, what is it?
Yeah, at bare minimum, it's a kooky day at the office, which doesn't sound fun either, you know. But but you're right. If there's something in there,
and it's like a Haitian Wiccan priest in there, and he's like, "Oh, you'd be the only HWP,
huh?" We've been waiting for you. So yeah, okay. So fuck that place. Okay. Post number 2. Just some text here, and the title is "Household Helper." This is more of a San Jose situation, I guess. Anyway, I'm looking for an extremely organized, reliable, and smart individual. I like smart in that list. Because the last person they hired must have just been dumb as rocks, with excellent communication skills to help make our house run seamlessly. Sorry, we transitioned into exclamation points, and I had to change the tone. We have just finished remodeling. Who's we? So someone with exceptional organization skills is a plus, as our belongings are coming back from storage. All belongings will need to be sorted, placed in the house accordingly, or stored and labeled in containers in the garage. Other tasks would include laundry, taking out trash, organizing house, running errands, cleaning, and dishes. We have weekly housekeepers that are on hold, but will start up in 2 weeks. Okay. We will also ask for green juices to be made in the Vitamix. We're gonna come back to that. Additionally, take me to doctor's appointments as needed. So we started with the we. Now we're just in a me. My hope, here we are just again on me. My hope is to find someone who's a self-starter. And once you get to know us, things should flow pretty well. Must always be sober on the job. Are you sober writing this post? Must be able to lift 30 pounds and climb stairs. Reliable transportation with up-to-date registration and insurance verification required. Background check is required. Currently a full-time live-out position. Specific scheduling we are willing to work with you on. Specific scheduling we are willing to work with you on. Thank you. And compensation says 35. I'm guessing that's 35 an hour if you're going to be generous. And that's the post.
Man. No.
You're gonna walk in this person's house and just like, no.
I don't think so.
There's too much going on. There's too much going on here.
What are the odds? Oh, I'm sorry, she's good.
No, I was gonna say, I know we kind of have run the gambit on, like, you know, like personal assistant, like personal helper kind of posts, but this feels. The fact that you mentioned taking me places. Also, you have housekeepers, but they're not there. Why aren't they there? And you want and you want me to blend shit in your fucking expensive ass blender, like what are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you think of the odds that you walk in and like it's like a get out situation where like all the other housekeepers like look at you and they kind of get like they're trying to talk to you through their eyes, like
maybe that's what they mean by live out position, they're like live out. Live out, I assume they means not living in, like you can't live here.
There's gonna be some
bummer.
Like, get the fuck out of here, we got to do our weird orgy. Get out.
Live out. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's pretty likely. Sorry, I'm spinning here. This person here. Okay. This person, let's just imagine that we're just dealing with this one thing, which is remodeling the house. I'm scrubbing the Vitamixes. I'm scrubbing the as needed doctor's appointments, which has to be so frequent. If you're bringing that up, you know what I mean? You got to be going to the doctor once a month at least, Let's just imagine none of that's there. And they're like, yo, we just need someone to help with, like, I don't know, organizing our shit coming back. If you have that much shit, somebody quit on you. Like you had somebody who was doing this and they were like, fuck this shit. Like fuck all of your shit. I'm out of here. And you had housekeepers that are on hold. It's like, yeah, there was, if you're rich enough to have housekeepers and hire this weird ass household helper, like how come those housekeepers aren't following you somewhere and just like cleaning up your poop as you walk around and you're like,
as you're pooping everywhere
like a rabbit. It's just very strange.
I don't know. I'm tempted.
Yeah. You're like, I gotta be sober on the job.
I might drink all your green drink though.
Yeah, a little skimming there. You're like, oh yeah, I made you some vitamins. That's a good point. You could really juice yourself into some pretty good health there because they're not gonna be tracking all those green apples and carrots and ginger.
Well, they're not looking. I'm just going, oh, gulp.
No, I hear
just a little sip here, and before you know it, and you're just fucking jacked, You're ripped as hell because your body fat has gone down to nothing. So they've been working you to the bone, but you just keep taking sips of those green drinks, so you got all the nutrients you need, right?
Hands are all calloused.
You're picking things up 30 pounds at a time, climbing stairs, and you're just shredded.
Then when you leave, because they make you leave, you go work out some more.
You're like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Go ahead.
Or in was it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? He was a helper guy. Right? He did
right.
So you're saying you can maybe take this situation and turn some lemons into lemonade, or at least some lemons into some lemon cayenne ginger juice as a part of the cleanse.
By accident, just
what was that?
I would be able to hold that job for about like 2 weeks until I like break the machine,
Yeah.
I
didn't know you couldn't juice rocks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do this because you know what else I'm afraid of a little bit just from reading this post is what's going to happen when the enemies of these people show back up. Like this, I feel like there's an undertone here that I think you're right, Chase. I think they've chased some people off. And is this going to be like a parasite scenario where it's like, where there's some repercussions?
There's a reckoning day.
Yeah. And I don't want to be there. I'm just like trying to juice beats or whatever. You think you're going to give a fuck about me?
Yeah. And the problem is you're going to have so much like blood on you and beet juice. It's just like nothing's going to come out of that shirt.
Yeah, no, it's going to be real bad. It's going to be real bad. It's going to really mess with my digestive system. Beets always get me. So no.
They get you good. They make you poop.
Yeah, I poop like crazy on beets.
Yeah. And you're always afraid because it looks like blood. You're like, oh, bloody stool, or
I'm constantly pooping purple.
Yeah, you're just like drying it, turning into sidewalk chalk. All right, I'm gonna say no. Obviously, no. Like no. I mean, like no. I know somebody who was like a personal assistant to someone who was pretty rich, and they didn't even have to do most of this shit, and it was still a fucking nightmare. And it was a person they moved. It was like half of the job was just literally moving all the shit that they didn't even recognize, you know? So like, it's terrible. No, thank you. Ed?
Yeah.
Still maybe?
Well, I mean, I'll take the money. I'll take the 35.
35. 35. And to be clear, it says 35 decimal point 00. Not a cent over 35, whatever it is.
I have in cryptocurrency.
No, you will. Okay.
Yeah, of course I'd run away, but you know,
could be 35 pounds of kale you put in that Vitamix.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? Well, Godspeed to them and fuck that place. Heyo, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, did you know that you can text this podcast? The number is 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. We take your side, by the way. That's an automatic position. If you text us, we're on your side.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about your boss. You think I'm going to protect that guy? I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I got your back. We got your back here.
Absolutely. If we're this is like a weirdo, like sleazy lawyer commercial. I mean, we're on your side to a point, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm wearing a goofy suit right now.
I'm wearing a brown tie. Couldn't tell you why. If you need to talk shit about something, like we're your shit talking team. All you gotta do is text 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. We're on your side.
Ed, what's the first job you ever had?
I worked at Boudin Bakery in San Francisco Stonetown Mall.
Oh, Boudin's. Nice.
Yeah. So we sold, our biggest seller was an avocado sandwich, right? And you can have a half sandwich and a soup. And the soup comes in a bread bowl, like a big giant sourdough bread bowl. And we would have to prep them. I would cut holes in bread bowls and then put clam chowder in it all day.
You just gutting bread all day?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I didn't know about carbs at the time, so I would just like eat a whole loaf of bread, no butter, just snacking on.
Well, sourdough is pretty fucking good. I mean,
dude, bread rules.
Yeah, but sourdough in particular rules fucking. I mean, it's got to be the best bread in my mind to just eat completely raw, just like.
Yeah, and that's got to be like the closest you feel to like a gorilla killing something and eating it, right? Like just fucking tearing it apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Go on.
What were you eating? Just like all of the holes you were cutting out, or did you have to give him the holes too?
Yeah, we got to give him the holes. So we cut it out and then we shave off the inside a little bit, and so we give it to them in like this little like container, whatever, and then they could put the top back on and like take it home and stuff. It's pretty whole thing, the whole separate thing.
First, how old were you?
I think I was like 18, 19.
Okay. What percentage of each bread bowl were you eating? Like if you pulled it out, was it like a single bite per bowl, or was it like, a little more on this?
Or do you just take a whole loaf for yourself off this? You just like, oops, side loaf. It's me. It's me in this loaf.
At the end of the day, there's always a lot of bread left, and they can't the next day because you're not gonna sell stale bread. They're just gonna make. So I would always take a lot and just eat on my way home.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. You always got excess bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Always eating bread guts.
Yeah, I had bread.
whole bread bellies. You know.
Right. What a photo of me like next to in my work uniform, just holding all this bread. If I could find like a whole bunch of bread. Oh my god.
Every now and then when you go to sleep at night, you just pull it off from under your mattress. Like, God, I miss that bread.
Sometimes would get really stale. And if you cut it at an angle, it actually cuts your skin. Like it could cut your skin because it gets really hard.
Really?
Yeah.
You get like a bread injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, hold on a second. You're telling me that if you slice a baguette at a sharp enough angle, much like when I was a kid, I remember I would just find sticks and just like sharpen them against like the cement, you know, just like, so it was like a rudimentary spear, right? You're telling me baguettes can turn into pseudo spears.
Yes.
Wow. Baguette spears.
And then how do you get cut on one? Is someone thrusting one at you?
No,
Or you just eating bread so fast, like your elbows are flying. You just catch them on the side, you know, just like, oh, good, you know, doesn't matter. Just got to keep eating bread.
Like a whole baguette sticking out of a guy's forearm. It's like, fuck, it's in there deep.
using the fight vampires. You know?
Oh shit, yeah.
Steaks, baguette steaks.
but I mean, are you just like grabbing them from? I'm genuinely trying to figure out. Maybe you're jumping in. You're going like elbow deep into like a bag of baguettes, and you're getting sliced on the way in, you know, and not coming out like in Saw or something.
Yeah, kind of. So sometimes what we do is, we throw away the excess bread that we don't use for the day, and sometimes you just get tired. You want to go home. You throw these baguettes in a bag, and you're like, oh, I want to leave. And then and cut up. And you're like, what happened? Oh yeah, I was like throwing stale bread in a bag.
Oh, because it got stale.
Yeah,
and your hands are all sliced and diced. Dang.
So you're taking out like a garbage bag full of it, and there's like holes in the garbage bag from just like sharp ass bread, constantly cutting it. Just like, oh my god, you why did you take this job? You just needed money, or what was it?
Yeah, I needed money. What was it? My friend. So I was really into breakdancing at that time. You know, that was like my life. And my friend, he was a breakdance friend of mine. And then he got into the job, and there were other breakdancers at that job. So that's like a job that breakdancers would go to.
Yeah, the breakdancing bread like gang.
Yeah. The breakdancing bread gang.
We had we would enter competitions as the Boudin boys.
And, the Boudin boys!
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Boudin boy.
Yeah, and we would wear our like work uniforms, and we would break dance in it.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
You just handing out croutons and shit?
Oh, that's really cool.
Bread to the jams, and then we would just throw them out in the air.
Dude, oh, wait, you would like start by eating bread?
No. It was just like stale bread. Well, I wasn't gonna eat that.
Yeah. I like Chase's idea that you like smash up a bunch of croutons and like throw them in your enemy's eyes like old bad guy pro wrestlers, you know?
Put some glitter in there. It's all over. Did you guys win? You know?
I think we never won a competition, but we got to like the first or second round. There was just in San Francisco, the competition is so fierce.
Yeah.
You got to go up against the Duncan dudes. We got the Boudin boys, we got the Duncan dudes, and we got the Pep Boy pals.
We got the Domino's D bags.
Everybody fucking hates those guys.
Everybody hates those guys, and they know it.
And they know they're such baddies. Those Domino's D bags. I would guess you were the only work themed group.
I think so. I'm trying to think. Sometimes it wasn't like a real serious breakdance group. It was just something that, you know, people got together and mess around with. There's a couple like mock b-boy groups that were doing that. Like some guys would dress up as ninjas. But it was just fun. It was just us as the theme of a fast food restaurant, or a restaurant. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's pretty tight. So when you were working, did you all talk about breakdancing, or is it more like I just don't know how much downtime you had? It sounds like you're pretty much just scooping holes out of this bread all the time.
Interestingly enough, the reason why I got that job was because my friend was saying, you know, during our breaks, we can go and breakdance.
So did you?
Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah.
That's got to be one of the most exhausting things to do on your break.
Dude, right? Okay. Yes, I know of one thing that's also maybe as exhausting. I knew a guy. I worked at this when I was in college. I worked at it was in the student union, and it was sandwiches, smoothies, ice cream, just like a bunch of shit. And there was only a few people behind the counters. You just did it all. Like you just had to just like switch gloves to do everything. But there was one guy I worked with who was a townie, like not a university guy in school. And every time during his break, and he had like a 10-minute break because it was North Carolina, like like there's no breaks basically.
Yeah, breaks 9 minutes 50 seconds.
Maybe it's 15, maybe it's 15, but like it was so short. And so he would literally run across the way from where we were in the student union to this game room. In the 4 years that I attended school, I never even walked in that room. But he would go play DDR, Dance Dance Revolution.
Whoa!
And he would come back so sweaty. And his name was Quincy. And he just like literally he's wearing just like one of those nasty, like just like, you know, those like dumb customer service polos. Like I don't even know what color it was, like brown or something.
Sweat.
And just like no undershirt, you know, just like a real sweaty like clavicle, you know, and like a little thin ass mustache, and he's still wearing his visor, like he didn't even take it off. Anyway,
dude, I mean, like
that's one other way. But breakdancing sounds like the much cooler version of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like DDR is lame, but those dudes work their asses off.
They sure do.
Like, I go to a barcade out in Burbank to play fighting games, and there's some DDR players out there, and boy, do they dress dumb. But those
they
dudes
can't
get down.
stop dressing dumb.
They cannot do it.
I knew one guy in high school who wore Mickey gloves.
Yeah, they always wear goofy shit. Like it's always like you look like an extra in a My Chemical Romance video. What the hell are you doing?
But like an extra in a My Chemical Romance video that like
got an umbrella.
Yeah. like a My Chemical Romance video extra adheres to a certain aesthetic. And I would say that if there is an aesthetic, it's like Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, that's probably better.
You know,
yeah,
like it's a little less gothic and a little more like fanciful. So that's where the umbrella comes from. I mean, again,
but still like gigantic orange, like prison orange.
Yeah,
like cargo
pants.
Shorts.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, you're right. Like
where did you get that?
Yeah.
Where did you get that? So
and not t-shirt, and they got like titties.
And not
I know these guys.
And not one of these people can hold a candle to the goddamn Domino's douchebags. The Boudin boys. So you would go breakdance. Where did you? I would imagine you had an endless supply of cardboard.
Yeah, we did that. But honestly, like when I first started working there, my friend was like, "Yeah, you could just breakdance out in front." And so
at the mall. Yeah,
at the mall. So that's what I was doing until finally the managers were like, "Hey, you guys can breakdance, but you have to do it in the back. You can't do it with."
That's did people either one of these answers will amuse me. Did when you were out front and you were breakdancing, I assume you had music. Did you have music? Okay. Or you just danced to the mall music?
No.
Just like some old like just like all Vanessa, like I forget the name of that artist, like you save the best for last. Who the fuck is that? Save the best for last. Vanessa Williams. You know, just listen to some like Tori Amos. What's up?
The head spin, like the guy would be.
Yeah. Yeah, like Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On."
Yeah, he's like getting like small, like he's going faster and faster. It's playing like Mazzy Stars, like "Fade Into You." You know, it's like really somber song. You know?
Yeah. Or like Macy Gray, like "Stop trying to say goodbye," and I drove. Just like fucking, they're doing that thing where the feet and the hands go up.
You're just tossing bread out.
So you had your own music.
Yeah, I think, but we couldn't play it very loudly.
Yeah.
We were...
Yeah. So you couldn't play that loud, and then they were like, "You got to go to the back." Did people stop?
Yeah, they did, and luckily enough, like it was other kids that would come in during that time, so people around our age, so they enjoyed it. But I know, like I'm pretty sure the older when it got to like those seasons, like during Christmas and stuff, we weren't allowed, you know, of course, like, hey, it's time to go. And I would get really tired on my break. So I wouldn't even, so the kids, like, they thought it was cool and kind of gimmick stuff like that. And so,
yeah, no, I mean, I like, in a sense, like That does sounds kind of like, oh, well, we have employees that are super into breakdancing. Let them wear the uniforms and breakdance for 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck's
It's
what
crazy
the
that
fuck could go wrong?
It's crazy that they recognized you as a force they couldn't stop. Like, I'm sure they didn't love that all their employees were breakdancing, but they're just like, yeah, but they, you know, there's more of them than there are of us, and it looks like they could kick real hard. So,
and then once they were like, no, people were complaining. Like they were like, okay, all I can tell them is they have to go in the back.
They're like, look, I know I can't control the Boudin boys.
Nobody controls the
with
Boudin
them,
boys.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like government's working with cartels. It's like, look, we can't stop them. We have to find a way to work.
Or same thing with the Fast and the Furious people. You know, they were like just illegal street racers at the beginning of the franchise, and they were like, we cannot stop these people from Tokyo drifting. We're just gonna have to employ them. You know, they've got to become our new secret agents.
Yeah, I'd rather have a bastard working for me than working against me.
Goddamn, you know, goddamn right. So where did you break dance in the back? Were you actually outside?
Yeah, I think at that point we went to the outside, and it's like near a garbage, like a garbage can, or
where most breakdancing was actually born. You know,
during the break.
Oh man, you just had to dodge it when people were chucking stale fuck, I forgot the bread. I'm not on top of the game. Whatever the sharp one was, you're dodging those. So you come back and you just hop back to work. And again, you're telling me that your primary job was just scooping holes?
No. I did other stuff too. You know, I did utility. Utility is just cleaning floors, washing dishes. And then I didn't get high enough to start prepping, but if I stayed there longer, I probably would. I made sandwiches. I did cashier, and
okay, got it. So they had you on a rotation.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were doing it all. That and like spins.
You know, when you think about it, you know, you, at the very beginning of this, you said like, oh, I hadn't heard of carbs yet, you know, and I just ate a whole loaf of bread. But then like what you're doing is going, you're just doing like 1,000 push-ups every 3-4 hours, you know? So it's like, yeah, you hadn't heard of carbs. You also hadn't heard of stopping and sitting down.
You gotta be exhausted.
So you need that bread, dude. You need that bread.
I mean, nowadays, when I think about that, I was like, why would I do more physical work when I'm on my
number one, because you're young and your body is made of jet fuel.
Yeah.
You know, and anything you put into it, it's like in Back to the Future, that Mr. Fusion, you just put in fucking banana peels and old like Coke cans and shit. You can eat it and it just turns into like, like Hulk fuel.
Yeah.
That's it. That doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter. Almost doesn't matter what you do, as long as you just keep the engine running.
All right, Ed, that was your first job. What would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
I had the worst jobs probably here in LA. I had several terrible jobs.
Very common answer.
I mean, a lot of them, I mean, internships are probably the worst ones. And because they're always like, hey man, if you work really hard, we'll give you a job in this really nice office that you get to do free labor in, you know?
If you work really hard, we might hire you.
Yeah.
No, your 3 months is over? Okay, well, bye-bye. Wait, what about all that stuff I did? What about using my own fucking car to get your like talent from one place to another? Thank you, bye. We got new people we could trick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Big waste of my time. But I think probably the worst one, I was a dog walker. Yeah, and it wasn't the walks, the dogs. It was probably the management was probably the worst. Probably the worst I've ever had. It was this one guy. He was just really passive aggressive. And if he didn't like you, he would put you on these routes with the most difficult dogs, which is really hard for me to say because I love animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you did something he didn't like, he would just stick you on these really like big giant dogs that have a lot of energy, and you just spend all day. It's like walking around in the desert, hot LA air, just walking around and picking up dog shit and trying to avoid other people because some of these dogs are crazy. And if into contact with another human being or dog, they might bite them. And so like you gotta really wrangle these big giant dogs around. And I was just thinking like, I don't know how am I gonna do this. I mean, I really don't. And so my manager, I couldn't understand what his deal was. Like what's up with that? Why is he
Yeah, what's this guy's fucking deal? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. And he sometimes wouldn't be really honest with me about stuff. And so I find out that he actually did stand-up comedy.
Oh, so then you know he's a shitbag.
So he wasn't a manager, he was a stand-up comedian. And then he let me go, and then I ran into him at a show.
Was he good?
Motherfucker. He's all sucking up to the host and everything, and I was just like, oh my God, this guy. Just like 2 weeks prior to that, he was screaming at me over some stupid shit. And I just couldn't believe it. Like only in LA, where my boss in one situation is in a higher position than me, and in a totally different situation, he's just lower than me, but trying to get in, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So crazy.
Daytime piece of shit turns out to be nighttime piece of shit.
I know. He's still around. You
have to tell us off pod who it is. Maybe we know.
Yeah, we'll find him and we'll ban him from this podcast for fucking ever.
Oh, no.
We got a long running list of people banned from this podcast. It's Viola Davis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Viola Davis is banned, and then whoever this guy is probably banned too.
Yep. And I think that's it. Joe Biden, he's probably not coming on. So you said at first the guy was passive aggressive, and then you said the guy was yelling at you.
Yeah. So he's got you on like the Beethoven route or whatever, right? Like he's got the big old hairy dog, big old giant dog route because he doesn't like you.
Just pure slobber.
But when does it turn into him being directly mean?
Well, so let's see. There were so many instances where it's like, man, this is kind of a red flag, but I need a job, and I didn't have a car at that time, so walking was just a good option for me. And so I just stuck with it. But let's see, I forget what's something that really triggered him. Okay, so I guess one of the owners, so some of these dogs have personality. They're very neurotic. And before I got the job, they gave me a book to read about dog behavior. And just sat down one day and I read about why dogs go nuts and stuff. And a lot of times they just don't get enough exercise, right? Yeah. And when you're walking the dog, you have to be like the alpha male, you know? So you got to be like, you do this, you sit down, you got to be like that. Be like that to them, or else they won't respect you. And when you're walking dogs that big, some of them big, they can attack other people. So you always have to this get over here and kind of like pull them, not choke them, but remind them that you're the alpha and they need to follow you. And dogs will do that. So this one dog that I was walking was, and also it's never the dog's fault, it's the dog owner. And,
for sure.
A lot of times it's not, a lot of these dog owners, they're probably rich, but they don't have an understanding of why a dog acts the way they do. And they treat them like a person instead of a dog. Yeah. So they're like, oh, well, he just has anxiety. I was like, no, you have anxiety and your dog is reflecting.
And you're being weird to your dog, like you're being weird all the time. And now your dog's weird. Yeah.
Yes, and it's acting out, and so I was walking one of these dogs, and what we have is there's this thing called a prong, right? So it looks really dangerous, but for a dog, there's a lot of excess skin. So if you pull an animal, you ever see like when you
by the nape?
Yes, it doesn't hurt them. It's pretty natural. Like cats and puppies, they all have it.
That's how their moms carry them around.
Exactly. It's pretty normal. And
it's a dog handle.
Yeah.
It's a dog handle. It's like how animals in the wild like pick up pups and stuff. The prong collar kind of, if your dog starts moving in a weird direction, right? You just remind them, and the prong just pushes their neck to like give a small tug or tug to be like, hey, pay attention to your master. He's going in this way, you know?
Mhm.
So one of the the dog owners, they didn't understand that. And they thought it was a choke collar. Like I was choking them.
Right.
And so they screamed at me and said, don't do that. And I think I was on my like 5th walk on that day. And this dog has a lot of problems when I walk him, right? So my thing was, I'm going to put on this prong collar after you leave.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
So the moment I get out of the house, I put the prong collar on. It's like, I'm not walking this dog for 45 minutes while it's like jumping all over the place. It's really dangerous for me, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna like run out into the street, and you don't want that.
Right.
No, you want the dog to be alive when your shift is over, you know?
Exactly. And I'm so glad that's never happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So as I come back, right, she noticed the prong collar. She flips out. She starts screaming and yelling at me and saying, "Oh, that's crazy." And so she sends me, I leave, and then he gets on the phone. He starts screaming at me, "You can't do that. You can't say blah, 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 blah." I remember just yelling back at him, "Are you insane? Do you really want to walk this dog like that? You're going to put me in danger."
Hell yeah.
He got really quiet. He goes and just walks away. And like I would hang my leashes in this cabinet, and he would get upset with me for doing that. And goes like, "You're the only one who uses cabinet." I was like, "Well, why is that cabinet there in the first place then?" So he would like get
like
me.
in the office, there was an empty cabinet that you put leashes in. And he was like, "Don't put leashes in that empty cabinet. It needs to stay empty."
Yeah, I'm saving it for something. Don't worry about it.
I'm saving it for all the dog meat I'm harvesting off of these dead dogs that end up in the street because we're not using collars on them.
I'm writing a bit about having an empty cabinet. All right? I need it empty for inspiration.
What he wouldn't tell you that you can't use the cabinet. He would get upset with you for using it, but he wouldn't tell you that. So he would just like, "So what are you doing there?"
What?
Man, this guy's definitely banned from this motherfucking podcast. Like, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing over there?
You're not jerking off in there, are you?
It's like you're in a room. Do I not have a right to be in places in this room?
Exactly.
Dude, we got dogs with anxiety out here. You need to walk. Can't be in the cabinet all day.
But the worst part is he would pay me really late. And it was all like one of the things that pisses him off. Like sometimes I would lose a leash, for one, like they give you a certain amount of leashes and you have to return them. I would lose a leash on a walk, and he would have to pay for a new leash, and he would be upset with me about it. So he would hold my check until like the last minute. And I'm like, where's money? Could I have my money? Then he would finally pay me. So it's like small things like that. And then he would put me on like really rough dogs. And I was just like, oh, man, this guy.
Yeah. Put you on like buff pit bull route or whatever,
Oh God. Yes.
Cool question. So you're talking about like spending time with this person, and in my brain, a dog walking situation is like, once you're trained, what the fuck do you need to come into the office for at all? Like, why don't they just dispatch you straight to the place?
They do.
Or do you just like show up every day and just like hands in pockets, just like wait around? They're like, okay, we're gonna dispatch you. Like they're like sending you out like you're a construction crew or something.
What? So it was in downtown LA, and to save money, I would use my bike to go from one location to the other.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't want to lock my bike in downtown LA because somebody would
get fucking stolen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would go into the office and put my bike there, and then just check in with them, and then take my leashes out of because I don't want to take those dog leashes stink, man. They smell like dogs.
Smell like fucking dogs.
That's what I was gonna say earlier. It's got to be hard because dogs are so in tune with that like, is it even just a bitch just to get them to not pay attention to their own leash for a second? Because you put it on them and they're like, "What's that smell?" And like, like every part of this would be so difficult just to start.
Oh man. Well, sometimes the dogs would be really nice. Like there's this one dog I would get attached to some of them because just adorable. Like
Dogs rule.
Yeah, I know, and it sucks that they have such terrible owners.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, they're not terrible.
Most of them are. Yeah, I'm gonna push your statement into the stratosphere and say most people that own dogs suck. I mean, kind of like they just get a dog and they don't really understand that it's actually a lot of work. Like,
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it right, it's a lot of work. Like, if you're doing it wrong, it's not a lot of work.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You can't just leave a dog. If you have a front yard or a backyard, you just can't leave them out there. They have to be socialized with other dogs. Like dogs are pack animals. And if you kind of isolate them for a long time, they start to go insane. So
yeah,
they need to be around other dogs constantly, So I think that's a hard thing because people got jobs. And when they get these dogs, they're like, oh, they're so cute and stuff. And then they grow up and they're like, I don't have time for you. I'm like, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when Edwin comes in just with a pile of stinky ass leashes.
And picking up dog shit. I picked up so much dog shit.
Dude, it's I mean, that's what a walk is to a dog. It's just like, oh, awesome. I get to take as many dumps as I want.
Oh, I can take the fattest dump of my life right now.
Yeah. And Dump Boy is here. So let's go.
Also another breakdance crew.
Dump Boy.
We're the Dump Boys. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Oh no, the Dump Boys are like their day jobs is like selling a poo-poo.
So how long were you at this dog situation?
I think it lasted like about 3 years.
3 years?
Roughly. Yeah, it took a long time for him to finally fire me because I was the only one who like showed up on time.
Yeah, that would be hard to fire you for doing that. He fired you for what then?
Well, there was an incident.
Okay.
Yeah. He told so there's these two big giant dogs that don't like each other, right? But I've walked them before and they were fine. There was an incident where they got into a fight. All right.
On a walk with you?
On a walk with another dog walker.
Got it.
So he told me you shouldn't walk these two dogs. You have to walk them separately.
I see.
Yeah.
They said someone else has failed. So now you have to bear the brunt of their failure. And you're like, maybe I don't.
Yes, you walk separately, all right? But they still have the same duration of the walk. So this dog is about 45-minute walk. They'll both 45-minute walks. Please walk them at separate times. And this is at night. So my girlfriend was visiting at the time. Hold on. And I was like, I'm really tired. I don't want to walk two dogs separately
for an hour and a half.
For an hour and a half. I'm really tired because it's not just at night. There's certain shifts. There's like the morning walks, afternoon walks, mid-afternoon walks, and then late night walks. And so I was like, all right, kind of my whole thing. I was like, you say one thing to me, I'm going to still do exactly what I was going to do anyway.
Because you've never had an issue.
Right.
Yeah. So I go into this house, I grab the first dog, and then I grab the second dog. And the moment they smelled each other, they're getting into a fight,
Oh, okay.
And they got into a tussle and they bit each other, and I had to like break them off. And these are two big dogs.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him like what happened. I was honest about it. And so one of them was injured. I mean, he got snipped on. Yeah, the one dog got snipped, and I had to pay like the medical fee for the dog.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was my fault. He told me not to do it, and I did it anyways. But I don't want to walk. I'm really tired. Anyways.
Yeah.
I took the dogs home, and then I didn't take them for a walk. And then, actually, I did walk them. I walked the one that bit the other dog just so they could pee and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I told my boss what happened, and then I think within 2 weeks he was finally able to find somebody new, and then he let me go.
Yeah. Quick question: these two dogs, they lived in separate households?
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
in the neighborhood. So
Got it.
yeah. I was in Little Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They're big. One was a Rottweiler. Now they're not violent by themselves. I think one of them was a foster dog and been through several houses. So, one dog saw some things, right? But
Uh-huh.
like, if you show this dog love, then they'll be like, oh, okay, all right. But if
Yeah.
it sees a dog, it will like bite him or something.
Yeah, one
like
dog.
Right.
One dog is like, just like living the life. The other dog is like had Vietnam flashbacks every week.
Uh-huh.
You know, just that like fortunate son song just starts playing every time. Yeah. So a little trauma there, and then they just fucking. So did they tell you it was because of the dog thing, or they just fire you for something else?
I mean, it was pretty obvious because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and I know they didn't fire me right away because they couldn't find a replacement.
that's
but,
right.
Sure.
Yeah. And then they did.
Next thing I know, I see my manager at a fucking, at a fucking comedy show, and he's all up to like the other comics, and I'm just like, this motherfucker here.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
And that person was just a manager there. They weren't the owner of the company.
he was the manager owner. He was the guy who thought he could do everything on his own.
Oh,
so
he was the owner.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
He's crazy. But that was also a Craigslist ad that I answered. So
Yeah.
That's where the crazies hang.
That's how it goes.
That's the crazy open mic.
That's the crazy open mic. Well, Ed, we always ask a few questions before the podcast is over, just kind of make sure we covered everything. For the first one, I'm pretty sure we got this one already covered. The first question is when were you done and how did you quit? We know how that went. The question number 2 is what would you say is one good thing you took from this bad job?
I had the biggest fucking calf muscles after all that walk. Oh my god, my legs were they were like that. They were
iron.
Like,
yeah. No, you're right. Like a lot of walking. Like this, there's not a lot of substitutes. Like, yeah, you can lift and all that kind of shit. But like as far as the like durability of your legs, like to just walk for a long time is just like there's like a fucking ironcladness to your knees that you develop. You're just like stepping up and down weird curbs and fucking almost slipping on people cleaning the streets and shit and slipping in dog shit and bending. It's just all those little tiny like movements, they just add up. You just like fucking got like Iron Man legs.
Yeah. And also I really love the dogs. I mean, some of them are crazy, but they're crazy. I mean, it's not their fault, fine. And I would have like 3 dogs on one side of me, 3 dogs on another side of me. And it was like I was a caveman living in the wild with a whole bunch of dogs in downtown LA, just walking up. Good when it's a good walk. It just there's some I don't know, connect me back with nature almost. Just being with dogs. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Question number 3, not related to that shitty ass dog job. We've kind of had a pandemic. It's kind of over, maybe. Anyway, like, how have you been? How are you doing? It's an open-ended thing.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I shouldn't say this, but a part of me wants to go back to not everything opening up and just
sure.
Now, because now I gotta go. I gotta go and deal with people again.
Right. You gotta do dumb shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny. I did a show. I remember one of the first shows I did was you guys did you do Diablos with Sal Kalani?
No, I just saw Sal the other day, and he said he was gonna book me for that. But yeah, I haven't done it yet though.
Great guy, great show, great audience. Yeah, great venue too. For LA, anyways.
Yeah.
He asked me to do one of his shows, and I did. And I remember just getting on stage and saying, "Hey, thank you guys for having me." As I was getting off, I was like, "Before we go back to just killing each other again."
And we're back, baby.
We went right back to like riots. And then
Yeah.
people again like that.
Yeah.
saying, hey, we kind of went through a pandemic. We should all really care about each other. You know, a lot of people lost their lives during this thing, and let's just hope for the best, you know, and really care about each other.
Mm-hmm. And everybody listened. And the end.
We all learned and grew as individuals.
Yeah, definitely. No question. We all did, and we're all better. We're all better for it, and we've had no issues since we've restarted. So that's great. Well, Ed, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
Yeah, you can check me out on my website.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, go to my website. Yeah, not an app or a platform.
Fuck Instagram, dude. I'm going to my www.edwinlijokes.ca.
It's comedy.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read my blog.
Hell yeah. Find me on fucking Tumblr. Why don't you? We'll put links to all that. I'll fuck up Edwin on Instagram and put that in the show notes too. You can't run away from the gram. Well, Ed, thanks for joining us. What a poops delight we've had today.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I watch all the clips online, and you guys are always so fun to
yeah.
Always clipping, baby. We'll see you all next week. For those who are listening, thanks so much for joining us, Ed, and fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you had a good time, don't forget to subscribe, rate the podcast, leave a review, 5 stars, 4 stars. You can give less stars, but don't do that. I mean, you can, but just text us. You know, it's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. You can just let it out, you know. Get mean. We're here for you. Okay, that's it. Bye for now. Fuck this.